everybody. Finally back. I've been meaning to make another video for a while. I thought that talking about my son and his typing would be a great time to do it. A lot of people on Twitter have been asking me about his communication and his typing. So I thought I would talk about that a little bit. And I also wanted to talk about how his emerging abilities have caused me to unpack more of my deeply embedded internal ableism and, kind of my unfortunate thoughts about, or not even my thoughts, but like what's inside me about my expectations of disabled people. So let's back up a little bit. I've been working with my son, he's 7.5, for about 2.5 months on typing. I mean, we started a little bit in the spring, but we didn't work on it much over the summer. But when we really got down to the nitty-gritty of homeschooling this fall, we've really been working on it multiple times a week. And so the last couple of weeks, it has been absolutely phenomenal in the amount that he's been able to communicate with us. It's hard not to get emotional about it because he's been able to share a lot of amazing thoughts and feelings with us, which to me is what matters more than anything. Like, I don't care if he never has a job, never moves out, never gets married, whatever. And he might do all those things, and that's great, but he might not, and I really don't care. He can live with me for the rest of his life, and that's perfectly okay. But all I really cared about, and I know that what my husband cared about and his sister cared about, is that he could tell us what he wanted and what he needed. And see, I'm getting emotional here, but I'm gonna keep it real because that's how I am. I've always known and believed that his brain was beautiful and completely functional, no matter what anybody tried to tell me. And so I thought that that was what I believed. But even my own beliefs and my own passion have limits, and that's hard to face. But it's important that we face the internalized ableism that's built up inside of ourselves. I've been working for several years now to unpack what's deep inside of me, and I've done a lot, but I'm not done yet. You are never done. You are never done unpacking any of your isms, racism, ableism, sexism, whatever it is. There's always something that society has taught us that we need to unpack and we need to fight against, and we need to know the truth about it. And certainly ableism is one of those that many people haven't started their journey on yet. And even though I've been on my journey fighting ableism for several years now, I certainly have a long way to go myself. So anyway, sorry, backtrack. He's been typing, and I did buy him a keyboard, and I'll show you guys here. I got this keyboard. I found it on Amazon. So when I first looked for keyboards, this is a keyboard I got him. So it's got like it's your typical keyboard layout for the most part. It's a little bit different, but the letters are generally the same, so that you can transition to a typical keyboard if you need to. But the keys are a lot bigger, and because he's physically disabled as well, that helps him in hitting his target, which obviously is important for his communication. So I got that. I found it on Amazon. Originally I'd been looking at keyboards and they were like $160, and I mean, certainly it's worth it, but it's frustrating when accessibility is that expensive. And then I looked on Amazon, and I know Amazon has all these problems, but I looked on it and I saw that keyboard was like $40, and so I was like, yeah, we're gonna try it. So I usually use that keyboard for him when we're typing, just because it's a little bit easier for him to hit the letters. When I've been doing math with him on the computer, I use a standard keyboard because I use the number pad. As you see, that larger keyed keyboard does not have a number pad, and I feel like being able able to cover the keys of the letters helps him focus better on just the numbers when we're doing math. So it's all about accommodations. But again, I'm getting off track, and I apologize for that. It's kind of been like a long, wild ride of a day, but if I'm inspired, I'm inspired, so I'm going to go for it. So he's been telling us some really amazing things with the typing. And, he, for the most part, only types one word at a time, which is great. That's fantastic. That's where he is, and I'm thrilled about it. And he's now to the point he has even typed an entire sentence, 3 words. I want iPad, priorities. But he's typed love you to his grandparents, which was really awesome. So yes, typing, it's fantastic. And he's told us so much about, even in the last week or two, he told us, his favorite color, which is green. He told us he likes cake more than he likes cookies. He told me very clearly today that he wants to do more art in school, which, as an artist, made me really happy. And he told me that when he was in public school, he felt bored and angry. And that's hard to hear because, if I make it about me, then I feel guilty. And I feel like I failed him for even sending him to public school, even when, they told me they wanted to put him in a secluded class, as they call it, AVLS, life skills. I wasn't happy. I didn't feel good about it. I felt worried that they weren't going to give him what he needed. And they tried to tell me that they were going to give him what he needed. In public school, at least here in Texas, part of the IEP is that they put him in the least restrictive environment when it comes to learning. And that's what they kept telling me, and it wasn't true. And since we've been homeschooling the last 2.5 months, it's been very clear that he was not in the least restrictive environment. And even in the last 2 weeks, he's shown me that not only does he know things that are at his peer age level, again, he's 7.5, so he would be in 2nd grade, that he actually knows more than that. He knows multiplication. He knows multiplication, and he's never been taught multiplication. Figure that out. And tell me how the school had him doing pre-K and kinder level work this spring of 2020, the longest year ever. And then here we are in fall of 2020, and he's at the end of 2nd, beginning of 3rd grade work level. I knew he had a lot in him, and this is where we come to unpacking my own ableism and my own lack of understanding, is that I have even become surprised at what we've seen. I always figured he knew how to read somewhat. I knew he knew more about his numbers than they were. I had to fight to get the bare minimum math for him, but the fact that he knows multiplication, I was shocked. And the fact that I was shocked is kind of an indicator of my ableism that still lives in me, that I still had this limit of expectations on what I expected his abilities to be. I let society and these so-called professionals tell me what his capabilities were, at least to some point. I was fighting them, and I was like, well, he's done this, and he's done that, and I've seen all these little, peaks and, insights into who he is, and they would tell me, well, no, you didn't. Maybe he has a couple of splinter skills, but he's just, he's intellectually disabled, and he's just, you're going to need to put him in a home when he turned 18 years old. I wish I was joking when people said that to me, but that's truly what they said to me. And I certainly don't have anything against intellectual disability, and I'm probably repeating myself, but these people were just fighting with me and telling me he was incapable. And even people with intellectual disabilities are capable. They have their own capabilities, but it's just when you are shocked and surprised or inspired by a disabled person doing something, that's ableism. And that's something that you have to like stop, take a breath, and go, why am I surprised? Why didn't I expect that this person could do that? Because I had low expectations for them. And I I just let my view, even though my view was certainly different than theirs, I let my view be colored by what they said to me. And I don't know, it's just frustrating. But now we're moving on and we're making changes, and he's able to tell us, even one word at a time, what he feels, what he wants. He was able to tell me yes and no on Christmas gifts that he may want, and that was the first time ever, and that was wonderful. And all I've ever wanted was to know what he was thinking and feeling, and certainly I could tell a good amount of it from body language, and I think I mentioned that in my previous video. But just having the ability to tell him, or I'm sorry, to hear him, read what he is saying to us is such a gift. And I think it's so important that every single non-speaking person, no matter their age, or their position, whatever, or whoever says their intellectual capabilities are limited, that they be given the opportunity, a true opportunity. And I don't mean 5 minutes with a device. I mean, you sit down with them for several months and you make the effort to show them how the communication is beneficial to them and how they can tell you what they need and what they want. And every single person is worth that. Not just my son, but your kid and your friend's kid and some random kid on the internet. And it's not inspirational. It's just, it's normal. It should be normal. It should be mandatory. Every non-speaking person should have the option to find the communication that works for them, because it changes their lives. And I see how my son is flourishing in every way possible. Even physically, he's becoming more confident. He's changing in all the best ways possible. Like, just in it, he's so happy. And he told me today, he typed today that he was happy. And that is what matters to me. I don't care about anything else. Like, I really don't. I just feel really grateful and thankful. And I'm taking this opportunity to examine myself and learn from this experience how I can be a better, more understanding person and be a better advocate for him and help him open the doors to be his best self. So if you made it through all of this little cry fest, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.